Hi guys, it's Chloe. Welcome back to a new video. And today I will, in case you haven't, if my thumbnail wasn't clear enough, I will be talking about self-harm. So before I get into the video, I am going to do a quick trigger warning. Knowing that obviously I'm going to be talking about self-harm and suicide. So please click off, or I don't want to trigger anyone. I'm not doing this to purposely trigger anyone. I'm doing this for because I love giving advice to people about mental health and LGBTQ. Like, them are my passions in life, so anything to do with them, I love to give advice. I don't mean to purposely trigger anyone, so if I do, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to give advice to as many people and help as many people as possible. Anyways, let's get into the video. Number 1, distract yourself. You can distract yourself in 5 different ways. Well, at least the ones that I've wrote down. Going for a walk, fresh air always helps. Doing some housework, whatever that might be, like housework, chore. Calling a friend or a family member. Counting to 1,000. Or watching your favourite film or TV series. I know whenever I get these urges, as I've struggled with this, I like to call or text someone and I watch a film or something or a TV series that I haven't seen in a while that I know I love and will dedicate my time to. That really helps. Next step 2, practice self-care. This one I have tried to do, but some are different of us. Curling up in a soft blanket, I do that regularly. Hence, I'm in my bed right now, and this is my filming space anyway. So yeah. Read in bed. I'm trying to get back into reading because I have an on-off relationship with my reading. So yeah, a self massage with coconut or almond oil. I got this. All these tips I'm saying, I got this like from research. So I'm not being a professional. I'm just suggesting ideas. Drawing, painting, and colouring. I like to do colouring on my phone. I've got a colour app. I love to do that. That really helps me. Anyways, move on. Use the essential oils or scented candles. I've got candles. I think I have for a while wanted maybe some like oils, like CBT oils and stuff that could maybe help, but I just haven't got to it yet. And so yeah, cooking a healthy meal from scratch, which obviously takes time, but it's such a good achievement, and then you got to obviously eat it in the end. Listening to relaxing music or music that calms you, and then having a long bath or shower. I did the last one, and I liked, my type of music is I listen to music a lot to help with my emotions, but some are more slow and relaxing, some aren't. So it just depends on how you feel, like what music fits your mood, and that's what I listen to. 3, relieve stress. As most people self-harm to relieve stress or anger, or to replace the sensation. So back to like how to help relieve the stress so you don't turn to self-harm. You can practice yoga if that's your thing. Practice mindfulness or deep breathing exercises. I do the deep breathing exercises every now and then when I know I'm getting myself worked up. I always try and focus on my breathing and go and take deep breaths. So yeah. 4, release anger. Dance or listen to aggressive music. People would probably say like some of my music, with it being punk rockish, pop punkish, can sound aggressive. So I don't know if that's a sign that I do that a lot. Go for a run, again, exercise. Something I should do, but I don't. hit a cushion or scream into a cushion. Scribbling on paper, ripping up paper. Yeah, the amount of times I've just wrote for ages, it can really help. And then you can obviously rip it up or burn it afterwards, so then it's like out of mind, gone thing. Pop balloons with bubble wrap. Bubble wrap's so satisfying for me to pop, so yeah, balloons I don't like the sound of popping, because it's like boom. But bubble wrap I can deal with. I think the balloons are too much because maybe my sensory overload, which links to my autism, but that's fine, another video. And go to the gym, which I used to do, but then COVID hit and then I just no. And then section 5, express feelings. Listen to music that you identify with. I do this every day. I listen to music by my idols that I idolize and identify the same with me. And my idol is Youngblood, as he's also got ADHD, which obviously is on the same, which is being neurodivergent, which links with the autism, and he might have autistic traits as well. And then he's also so passionate about the LGBTQ community and about his mental health, and he's really helped me so much with his music and him alone. Along with other people, of course, like other artists like Bands and Bronny, Machine Gun Kelly. It's my music changes so much. So yeah, just whenever I'm feeling like a certain emotion, I know I can turn to a certain song or a certain artist and just be like, yep, that's how I'm feeling. Have that on repeat for a bit, or etc. So yeah. Watch a sad film and allow yourself to cry. See, for some reason, I can't cry. Like, it's like if you've seen the film Holiday and it tries to make herself cry, I can't make myself cry when things that I know that are sad, like, and I know that I should cry at, I don't cry. And it makes me feel so heartless. But I'm like, I'm just can't cry. So it annoys. It's very frustrating, let's just say. Write how you feel in diary. I did this a lot every day. Write to keep a diary, and then I did for a while keep my eating record as well. Which could help for people, maybe suffering of like eating disorder or some such. Keeping track of your eating, so you know how little or much you're eating. So yeah, that's what I used to do. And then last in this section is speak to a trusted friend, family member, or therapist. Yeah, therapist. Therapist is probably the hardest one to do, because like you have to wait for a referral, and then it's waiting time, and then it's just find someone you trust in the meantime, like a family member or a friend, or like some sort of relative, like boyfriend, girlfriend, etc. Can really just help. You know, I mean, as someone who's had therapy for their mental health, it is a long wait and time to get seen, and then once it's over, it's like, oh, what happens now? So I feel like it's always best to have someone else to go to as a backup instead of your therapist or social worker or etc. It's always nice to have more than one person. That's what I was trying to say. 6, connect with others. Most of the time, you feel when you feel so low and you want to self-harm, you feel so alone and isolated from the world and just like nothing and worthless, which a lot of that is depression symptoms, which I have felt and still suffer with. But this isn't about me, I'm giving advice. Join local community groups. That can really help. Like if it's a local community group to do with mental health or LGBTQ or self-harm or anything, like just to get you out for, even if it's just once a week or for like an hour or two, just to like get yourself out and talk to people, because it's really beneficial. and then find a self-harm support group. Play with a pet or offer to pet sit for a neighbour. I have a dog and I love to like just dedicate some time to like play with her and just stroke her and just hug her and everything, because dogs, well, not just dogs, pets in general, but they can sense how we feel, and and I think it's always nice, like just when they can sense that you're ill and you're feeling a bit down, that they're just they're around you and they know, and they're just like, I'm here, and it's nice. Message or call a friend or family member, and then make plans to look forward to throughout the week. I don't do this every day of the week, but sometimes I do like have plans to look forward to, just to like encourage and motivate me more, which can help. And then if you write that down like on a calendar or diary, just so you remember and don't forget. 7, replace the sensation. Sorry, speech. Take a cold shower / bath if you don't have a shower. If you're like me, if you don't have a shower, bath. We're working on that, but that's another thing. Stomping your feet loudly. I understand that this one could be an issue if you're like round other people and like they're like all of a sudden you're just here stomping and you're like, whoa. So be cautious of your surroundings when you do some of these tips. Clapping your hands hard. I think that's just so weird, because my brother does this quite a lot, where he just randomly he always claps his hands and it seems really loud and hard. My brother does that quite a lot. Which and what I used to do a lot, I used to like do this a lot, and just go. Right, I don't know what I did when I was anxious, and then obviously, but I've noticed that my brother does the clapping thing a lot, so maybe it could be down to this. I've just never assumed. Snapping over a band or a bubble against you. I've done this like against my wrist, and during school, and sometimes in the house, mostly at school, when a lot of people are stressed and probably don't like school. If you're like me. I didn't, so yeah. Draw with red felt tip pen on the skin, so then you're getting the same colour of like blood, and you can like draw like line or scar where you would do it, so it looks like you've done it, but then it's the less harmful way of doing it. And then you could mix that idea with the next one, which is rub ice on the skin, because then if you rub ice on the skin, it will rub with the felt pen and it'll feel like a texture of blood, which isn't blood, if you get what I mean. So it can really help, hopefully. So then, and then it goes, how to react when someone tells you about self-harm. Try not to panic, and remember it's their individual way of managing their very hard feelings and emotions and experiences in life. So just try and be considerate, really. And then I'm going to tell you some don'ts now, some things definitely not to do when you to say or do around someone who self-harms. Don't avoid them, because that's just don't. It just is going to make them feel worse. Don't force or put pressure on them. Encouraging, yes, but not force or pressure. Don't try to fix their problems. I feel like this one's a big thing that I try and do with like my friends. Like, I feel like I try to help them so much, and I don't want them to think that I'm trying to fix them, because I'm not. I just want to help the most I can. But some of these don'ts I have to like consider for myself as well. So some of these you might not realise that you're doing until like you see it right in front of you and you're like, oh yeah. So there's that. 4, try and talk them out of it by reminding them how much it would. Don't try and talk them out of it by reminding them how much it would hurt you and their friends and family. I've definitely done this, and it's just a guilt trip kind of thing, and I know I shouldn't have done it, but it's so like So like saying like just think of us, you know, but it's not fair and nice for them to hear nice. So just don't set up their attention seeking. Loads of people still get this, which is so annoying. Like, we're not doing it for attention. Some people say it's a cry out for help, which for some people it might be, but it's not as attention seeking at all. Don't ignore their injuries or overly focus on them. See, I feel like I overly focus on my friends that do have admitted to me that they struggle with self-harm. I feel like I over focus on them because I care that much and obviously want them to obviously stop and recover, but at the end of the day obviously I know it's an addiction, and with any addiction you can't just stop straight away, because then you'll get like, I know with alcohol you get like the shakes, so I know like it's gradually and you will have relapses. I know that a lot, so I try and not to do that, and hopefully for anyone that I have is watching this who I've helped, I apologise for if I have done any of these don'ts. I'm trying to still educate myself and learn. Don't try and force change onto them, and don't act or communicate in a way that threatens to take control away from them. Like, don't try and control them. Like, that's the last thing. Controlling someone's always bad, but just don't. And then, what helps now? Positive now. What helps? Let them be in control of their decisions. 2. Try to be non-judgmental. 3. Let the person know that you are there for them. I do this so much, like the amount of times I probably say, I'm always here, I love you, blah, blah, blah. You're strong, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, blah, blah, blah. I say this to a lot of my friends. I always like to remind them of their worth and how much I care and love them. As much as I possibly can. 4. Try to have honest communication where you take responsibility for any fears. So like, make it clear that you obviously have fears and you are worried about them, and take responsibility for, like, and communicate with that, like, you know, tell them and let them talk to you and have that good conversation, because it's gonna affect the partner or the other friend as well. So like, it is nice and to know, like, to talk, to like get support off them as well, not just a one-way sort of thing, or have someone else to go to speak to, because it is something that people might need to talk to and get advice, or have a bit of a break off, you know, and just be like, right, if they get worked up over it, like, they need to talk to someone, because I know if I get worked up and worried over our friends that does it, I know I need to just talk to them and just be like, look, I'm really stressed and worried about you, and I know it's not good, and I know you don't like me stressing and blah blah blah, but I do it because I care, and you know, and have that conversation and stuff. And then 5, remind them of their positive qualities and things they do well in. So positive qualities and the strengths, always remind them of that. How far they've come, etc. 6, relate to them as a whole person, not just for the self-harm. Like, to relate to them over not just for the self-harm, for like other stuff in life as well. 7, offer to help, find support for them. I do that a lot. I always try and say and encourage people to like get therapy, or to get go online, and you could like text and stuff, or like go to a group. I always try and encourage someone to get help and speak up, but I know it's easier said than done. 8, try to have empathy and understanding about what they are doing. So try and empathize with them and try and understand about why they are doing this, you know. because it's not probably something deep down they wanted to do. It's probably has it down to some deep, traumatic, sad feelings and experiences in their life that's led them to turn and feel to this. Yeah, if you get what I mean. So, yeah. What to say? What to say? Always tell them saying that there's a way to get through this. Even if they can't physically say it, always try and encourage them to say that they'll get through this. And, you know, that's what I always try and say. Like, you'll get through this. Like, you've been here before, remember? And you've done it and you've got through it. So, try and talk like that. But you have to also be wary about what you say. I always try and, when I give advice, I always try and be like, make sure it doesn't offend them. You know, because make sure it doesn't mix or can sound anything like what not to say or any of the don'ts. That's what I worry about a lot. 2, I'm here to listen. You can tell me anything. I'm always like this. I'm like, you know, you can trust me. You can tell me anything at any time, no matter how random, how weird. Like, I'm just like, I'm here. I always say that. And then I also give them space, not too much space, as well. 4, remind them of their strengths, as said previously. 5, encourage them to join a support group, as said previously. 6, ask how they are, but then ask how they are really again, like double check. I think that's a really good idea, because then it just proves that you're really considering how they feel, and you're like, are you sure? Or really? And then they'll have a chance to maybe think, oh, actually they really do care. I could talk to them, and then it can open up that conversation. But then again, if some people might not want to talk, and I know a lot of people, myself included, can say just, I'm fine, when in reality they just might not want to talk, and that's fine too. Like, just let them know when they are ready to talk that you're there, and that's fine too. 7, be prepared to listen even if it's upsetting. I've done this. No matter how upset, I don't know, it can it could frustrate you. Like, whatever they tell you, just listen. And because that's all they want, listen and try and be non-judgmental. 8, use non-verbal cues like eye contact, hand on hand like this, holding the hand or something, and nodding while they're talking. Obviously, some of these you can do face to face. Some of them you could do like over call. I mean, I know most of the time with my friends it's over like call. You can do most of these, so yes, that's what I mostly do. Like, I use these cues and I'm like nodding while they're talking to acknowledge that I'm listening, and I try and make eye contact, even though I struggle with eye contact as autism thing, but I do try and keep and maintain eye contact as much as I can. 9, find out if they've made a plan to go through with suicide, and then, you know, like, if they have, like, I don't really know, like, just find out if they've had a plan and like try and help them to not go through with it, but not do any of the don'ts and stuff. Like, it's very hard to give advice about this, but you get what I mean. 10, remind them that they're not alone and that there's lots of people who feel like this and lots of people they can talk to, blah blah blah. And then last but not least, these are some tips that I've got. Be as available as you can to that person who's struggling and just let them know that you're there. And as I said, be a good listener. Talk to someone yourself. Like, this is what I mean. Like, it's always nice to help someone, but there has to be a time where you have to talk to someone and talk to someone about how you're feeling. And because if you just helping people so much and you're not talking to anyone yourself about your worries, and then they're telling you their worries and stuff that obviously you care and worry about, then it's going to make you feel bad. So always prioritize yourself as well, and know that you'll need to talk to someone and know and get help in some sort of way as well. And then become informed about the issue. Simple as that. Like, research and become informed about the issue. So then, like I have done here, and knows the do's and the don'ts, and what to say and what not to say, and the tips. So then you aren't potentially going wrong in any of this, in any of the conversation or advice that you are giving them. Because I know I have plenty of times, and I'm trying not to as much as I can. And for anyone that does watch this, who I know I have helped with them in any way to do with self-harm or anything, as I said, I apologise, but that's all I've got for this video. I hope you liked it. Yes, I know it's long, but it's a video that I had a lot of advice for, and I really wanted to be really informative about it. And yeah, so please like, subscribe, share this as well for advice. If you think someone really needs to hear this, share this around. That would mean the world. And yeah, I've been Chloe. Bye.